Hi, I'm Danny Vance coming at you from the Holler Studio today, and got Teddy Martin, the BAM teacher from Knott County, with me today. We're going to talk a little bit about how Mr. Martin's handling the NTI over in Knott County and how that's effective and how it's working, and whether he's making big strides with it. You want to tell them a little bit about yourself, Mr. Martin, and your program?
Yes, my name is Teddy Martin. I teach building and apartment maintenance at Knott County ATC. This is my 6th year of teaching. I enjoy it tremendously. I enjoy working with the young people. It's a great job.
Well, you've probably seen Mr. Martin in a few videos before. He's in with the Tiny House Project, the Build It Forward project, and this is the 4th year you've built those tiny houses. And one of the questions I usually like to ask these teachers is, have you seen heard from any of your kids? Any of them hollered at you and said, man, when are we going to get back to school to work on that tiny house?
Oh, yeah. I get it all the time on their Google Classroom and through emails. They're wanting to get back at it. They're chomping at the bits. They're so worried, especially the seniors. The seniors is who I feel bad for them, because each senior class has got to see the project start and
Right.
finished and go over to the far summit, and and it gives them a sense of accomplishment to see the whole project through.
Right.
And this year, I feel bad for them. They're gonna miss their proms and their graduations and all that probably. But this, to us, the tiny house, to my students, that's their big thing.
Right.
That's the thing that they're invested in.
Right. You must have read my mind. That was going to be my next question, was about the seniors and what effect it had, because like you said, all the classes before, the seniors got to start it and finish it and watch it leave, watch it sell.
Right.
And I'm sure they're going to miss that part of this.
Yeah, and these kids, some of these kids have been in on every
Right.
tiny house project,
students
because
that
they
do it
was
for
freshmen
Yeah.
when it started, so they got to work on it a little,
Yeah.
and they've got to work on each one of them, and this one is theirs.
Right.
The seniors, they really feel
I hadn't really thought about that.
that this is theirs. The other ones they was part of, but this one, it's their senior year, and this is their tiny house.
Yeah.
And they're proud of it.
Well, maybe they can. We don't know what's going to happen yet as far as timelines and all, but we don't know if we're going to get back in school. But
Right.
then before the end of June, we'll just have to wait and see on that stuff. But given the situation, we're doing this NTI. We've had NTI for years.
Right.
I'm sure NTI is a little different now. Used to, it was just a couple of day thing that we did, and well, if you missed a little bit of it, we might make it up later. But NTI is a little different now. And tell us a little bit about what you're doing with NTI and how effective you think it is for kids.
So what I'm doing basically is using a lot of the NCCER material as my NTI work to kind of prep them and get them ready for them tests to be administrated when they get back to school. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hands-on that has to be done too, skills list that has to be done. But I'm trying to get them ready for the written part.
Well, that NCCR then, that's your certification for your program.
That's the certification for my program.
It actually gives those kids a 1 year, like a 1 year experience to get out in the world and get a job and
Correct.
start on level 2, and you get the level 1 complete at your school.
Correct.
So hopefully you'll be able to complete that part.
Yeah.
We don't know yet how it'll happen, but you're
Right.
working on the fundamentals now, and then hopefully do the skills later.
Right.
Good.
A lot of them has a lot of the skill sets already done. They're lacking a few, but we do need some more time in the classroom and the shop both. We need time in both places to be able to finish these guys up.
Right.
And it's hard to do hands-on online. It's impossible.
It's a different ballgame.
It's a different ballgame.
What would you tell a parent? Let's say a parent. Some people sometimes are skeptic about what goes on in times like this. What would you say to a parent to reassure them that your student is still learning something about your class, even with this homebound situation, we'll call it NTI?
Okay, well, so what I've done is I've sit down and I thought about what's their weaknesses. What is a weakness amongst them all? And it was reading the tape measure. I go over it at the first of the year. I try to really install it into them at the first of the year, but
It's tough for some kids.
It's tough. It's tough for some kids. doing the math and doing the tape measure reading. So I've focused a lot on that, and because that is a really, if you can read a tape measure, you can get a job with a carpenter.
That's weird you mentioned that. One of the other colleagues here at KVEC and I did a video the other day about reading a tape measure because
Right.
we realize it is a problem with kids,
It is.
especially in our.
It is.
I say our, meaning the vocational, technical side of things,
Right.
where you get a lot of hands-on, and they got to know how to read a tape measure before they can build a tiny house.
Right.
obviously.
Before they can do any kind of plumbing, carpenter, electric,
Right. Any of it.
any kind of work, you're going to use a tape measure.
Right.
You have to be able to figure up how much supplies you need. The tape measure is used. It is the most essential tool, I would say.
Well, that's good. You're working with those kids to try to get them caught up in those areas, and that's something they can do at home. They
Right.
can work on
And
that.
I've also been focusing on construction math problems.
Okay.
Like it takes X amount of shingles to cover X amount,
Square footage.
and it's math problems, but it's construction math.
Applied math.
Well, it's NCCER calls it construction math.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot of that with my NTI work. That is, math is a skill. If no matter what they're going into, they're going to need math skills. So I
Right.
figure between the tape measure and the construction math, that's what I'm really focusing on as my at-home work.
Good.
Because if they pick them two, things up, they're ahead of the ball game.
I'm going to ask you a question, the same way I've asked everybody that I've done one of these videos with. It's like just to try to get an idea if you've really thought about the long term of this thing. But how are we going to teach kids to cut a rafter without a 2x6 and a saw in their hand?
It's
a little tough.
it's tough. It really is. The safety aspect of it can't be taught. I don't feel without being there and done it.
Right.
You can teach them how to change the blade online. You can teach them how to inspect the saw to make sure that it's in good working order. All that can be done. All the safety aspects of using it can be taught online, but the actual doing it, and being safe is the problem.
Right.
They can know all the rules, but when they, I have girls in my class, and some of them, when the first time they use a circle saw, they will squeal when they pull the trigger. It scares them, and stuff like that, and
Until you put the saw to the board, you really don't know, do you?
till you get the saw in your hand and put it to the board, you really don't know what it's
But I
about.
guess that's things we'll be thinking about in the near future. Like I said, we're not sure where this thing's headed. I mean, we could be off and online for some time now.
Right.
And we don't know how it's going to change the future even. But, I'm sure we can adapt with tech ed and figure out ways to do the best we can and get those kids ready to get out into the workforce. Somebody's got to build homes. Somebody's got to build structures and buildings and roads and weld and, somebody has to do that.
Plumb, and yes.
So if it means an online thing for us to get them through the basics and prepped to get out in the world and do that, then that's what we'll do if that's what we have to do. But we'd rather do it like we've been doing it, obviously.
Right.
Get them in there and get their hands on it and get her done that way. But I guess that about wraps it up. I appreciate it, Mr. Martin. You got any closing comments you'd like to add? And
I just would like to thank KVEC for all the support that they give us and all the opportunities that they make available to us. Just thanks.
I agree with you. I was actually on the other end of the KVEC, the grants on the receiving end the last couple of years before I retired, and that made a difference. With some of these projects, we get to use those grants on.
It makes such a difference. It was so hard. When you build a replica of a wall frame, for say, and a kid comes along and wires that replica, and then you strip all that stuff off, the next kid that comes up, he really don't have to do his own thinking. He just has to copy what the guy in front of him done. He's not where his nail holes are, where he drilled to run his wire.
Yeah.
The board's already been done. It's not like having to figure it out for yourself.
Right.
With KVEC's contributions to us, we get the materials, and the tiny house I mean, it just gives them so much more hands-on knowledge. They have so much more chances
Right.
of getting to really do something, and it being the first time that board is used instead of the 10th time
I
that
know
the
what you
same
mean.
board has been used. And that's just great. That's how you learn.
It's a great opportunity for these kids. And that's why I'm proud to be part of this organization, because of the good things they do. And it shows with teachers like you and the projects you're doing. And hopefully we can keep up that good work and keep these kids learning.
I hope so too, because I'm proud to be associated with you guys the way that I am.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't have anything to do.
We're like a tick and a dog. We need each other.
That's right. Well, we sure thank you, Mr. Martin, for coming in. It's trying times, and hopefully we're 6 feet apart here, but we appreciate you coming in and sharing what you're doing with us. And we just want to get the word out to people that what we're doing and what we're trying to do. And we're struggling. We're all struggling right now, but we're doing good, and these teachers are doing a good job, I feel. And hopefully we can get back to normal if those days exist to be normal, but we'll get there when we can, and we appreciate everything you're all doing. And if you have any questions, you can holler at us, or we will holler at you later.